What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Extreme Lifestyle Living. I'm your host, Trey, of course, and today we have Trevor Silver on here. How you doing today, brother?
Good, brother, man. You?
Good, man. Good. I've been wanting to get you on here for a minute, man.
Yeah, happy to be here. Good thing our schedules worked out.
Yes, man. So, for anyone not listening, or anyone that's listening or that's gonna view this, who is Trevor Silver? I mean, I know you. I've known you for quite some time now. I would say probably I probably known you. I knew you before the brand.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
So, well, how long has that been for? No, you can curse. Bro, this is free. Like, this is one thing about it though. Like, seriously, I didn't even make a video on this, nothing yet, and this can stay in the episode and everything. Is like, say whatever you want. It's on my back.
Okay, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, I'll post it on my page, my things, and because I say if anyone's gonna come watch it, that's on their own.
Oh no, for sure. So yeah, I'm Trevor Silver. From North Preston. I studied management as well at Dal. Were you at Dal?
No, I went to SMU.
SMU, okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, so my dream was to become a lawyer. Got to law school, realized it wasn't for me, but I always had like passion for like clothes, fashion, and style. So I ended up starting a clothing brand called TREV Clothing. TREV, trust, respect, education, value. So brand around core principles for success or key principles for success. And ever since then, I've just been diving into the fashion industry, learning more about design. So like one of my things is wanting to promote positivity while also inspiring like the youth. Like using these principles, like even these principles have allowed me to build the brand. So like I try to utilize them in everything that I do. So like you got to trust yourself, respect yourself, educate yourself, value yourself and others. So like I feel like if everyone maximizes those principles, then they'll inevitably succeed.
No, man, 100%. And I remember the first time you told me that.
Yeah, for
and
sure.
I got the original shirt right there.
OG.
I was gonna put it hanging there, but I didn't know if I wanted to be too cheesy for the video. But
you can just pop it in there somehow.
No, I'll do that. I'll edit it in there. But no, man, for real, that's a huge inspiration for me because I remember all the conversations we've had. We always one thing that I love about you is that you always give everyone the time of day.
Oh no, for sure, you got to.
No, but like you actually always do. Like no matter what it was, because I remember the first conversation we had was at the gym, but it wasn't even like it was like, "What's up, bro? How you doing? Check you." It was like you took 5, 10, 20 minutes to sit there have a conversation. Second time you came to the crib, third time you came to the crib, like you actually take time to give people like that time to like give them that value of what Trev means and that brand and stuff like that. But you were doing that before the brand came out.
Oh, 100%. I find like you gotta always like even if you like for me because I've been doing it for 5 years now, so it's like sometimes it feels like it gets old or it feels like I'm saying the same thing over and over again. But like there's people in the world that never heard the pitch or never heard the brand. So like
100%.
It's for like if I give it to you straight, if I give it to you how it's supposed to be given, like the brand and what it means, then when you wear it or when you represent it or if you believe in what I'm believing in, when you tell someone else it, you're gonna give it to them straight. So then it continues to go and continues to grow like that. So that's kind of why like not my reasoning for like giving the people the time of day, because I feel like just take the time to, you know what I mean, connect with the people in the world, because at the end of the day, like what are we here for?
100%. That's actually a big inspiration that I got from you. Like there's 2 conversations that we had specifically that really helped me. One was before you, like I remember when we linked up and I got that sweater for the first time. That was like before you started promoting it. And I remember the conversation we had, it was the same, what you're saying now, because you're joking. You're like, well, I say the same things, but it's like, I'm always being real.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But that's who you are. You know what I mean? Because you haven't changed since you started and since now.
Yeah.
And honestly, to be honest, the second conversation we had, you remember when we linked up at my mom's house down in Primrose?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, we linked up.
The love.
Yeah.
You still got that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, still got all that stuff, man. Tell you, man, I told you, like, I can't wear too much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when it gets big, I told you, like, when it's already big, that's why I can't wear that no more. You know what I mean? Like, you can't.
OG, that's the beginning. That's like I can tell that's one of the very, very first ones.
I only wore it 3 times.
Dang it.
Wow, man, I'm telling you, like, there's something, because we're from, like, similar communities, right? Like, we're brothers and stuff from up North Preston and stuff. There's pictures and stuff of me up there, too.
Yeah.
And it's just, like, you've always been a light within the community. Do you know what I mean? Like,
thank you.
And it's, like, for me to see you with that, like, it was, like, it kind of was, like, okay, fuck. It's, like, you just always, no matter what it was, you were just, like, you were on. You know what I mean? The gym, when you had the first conversation, to when I had the second conversation when you had the sweater, it was the same energy. But I got to watch the progression, you know what I mean? Because the energy at the beginning, you didn't have the thing. You were like, no, man, I'm going to become a lawyer. I'm doing my thing, da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
It's
crazy that you seen that difference or that.
No, 100%. That's why I was so excited to get you on the episode, because like I wanted to talk about like that transition and stuff, because maybe some people don't know that light of you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then the second conversation was the exact same energy. But it was into the brand.
Different thing, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like how I kind of tell the younger folks about it is like, if you don't know what you want to do what you think you might want to do, or look what you have a little bit of interest in. Because like for me, like I was dead set on thinking like law was what I wanted to do. I didn't really see anything else. Yeah. And then when I realized like, oh shoot, this ain't for me. Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, but I was in school for all this long. Like, what am I supposed to do? Do I finish it and then work and then pay my student loans and then pursue something else? Or like, what do I do? Yeah. And I was just like, well, I know 100% I don't want to do it. If I do decide to want to do it later in life, I can always go back to school.
100%.
And then I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to do this because I got a passion for this and I'm going to dive into this. And I always been into fashion. I always been, thought of myself as fashionable, you know what I mean? So I always was like into that world. And, yeah, so then it was like dive into there, just figure it out. And like you were saying about the same passion that I had in that was in this, but a thing that didn't even change that I kind of want to illustrate is that me becoming a lawyer one of the main driving factors was like, I want to be like a role model. I want to be able to show like we can do these things. And I want to be able to show people like, okay, if I can do it, you can do it. Cause we all come from similar circumstances, some worse than others. But in order for us to see ourselves doing certain things, like for example, like when it comes to fashion, you know, Virgil Abloh.
Yeah.
Him becoming like the highest thing in fashion enabled me to be like, oh, if he can do it, I can do it. Because him being a Black person of color, you know what I mean? If I could see him doing it, allow me to be able to like, man, if he can do it, I can do it. And around the same time when I was starting my brand, like he was one of my main inspirations to be like, man, like fashion designer.
And he,
Black.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know this at all.
God rest his soul.
Yeah, because he had cancer before he started, didn't he?
Oh, I don't know the whole.
I remember I was reading something on it because I know because Kanye was linked to him and Kanye's trending and stuff. And I remember seeing that because Kanye made the post that he doesn't wear any of Louis Vuitton stuff anymore after Virgil. And I remember they're saying something about the miraculous thing about his story was that he had all this stuff like as he started. Yeah, I don't know if that's true or not.
It could be because you never know. Like when he passed away, like it was a shock for me, like most of the world. But it was a crazy thing to think. Like even with that is like I'm 30 now. He passed away 41. Like that means like if I was to pass away at 41, like that's 10 years. Like what can I cram into 10 years? What can I accomplish in the next 10 years? Or what can I do for society that could, you know what I mean? With the brand, I want the brand to live on when I'm gone. 100%. So like my plan for the brand would be like me and one of my buddies, we always, well, not really joking, but like saying like 100-year plan.
Well, it started as a joke.
Yeah.
With
and
a little bit of belief.
Yeah, it's like how do you just like make a business or a brand or anything sustainable so that it could last for 100 years or for however long, like even when you're gone. And then that would take like succession planning and all that stuff that we learned in management, stuff like that I never would have known. Like me being young, it's like thinking like, why, who's paying to go to school? Like
no, 100%.
Where I'm from, like no one I know graduated, you know what I mean? So it's
100%.
Like, why?
A lot of people can't relate when they say that.
Because it's hard to see the value in education if no one you know what I mean?
100%.
So that's one of the things. That's another thing that like, not saying like school is the end all to be all, because you can learn all the books that we can buy in school, we can buy in the streets and then read at home, you know what I mean? So
100%.
it's the, like for me, the value of education in school is like the people that you meet and then the confidence that it builds. Because like once you learn how to learn and then how to apply the stuff, then it's like the rest is kind of history, because you can really do anything, you know what I mean?
Fucking, I'm happy as how you said it, and that's exactly why I want you on here, because we sing this thing, sediments. And I believe I get a lot of my motivation shift from you, because thinking about all these conversations, like, because like you said, you're 30, I'm turning 28 this year, so I'm a little bit behind you. And talk, like you said, same community, everyone had it different within reason. Yeah. But the shell of these communities, it all comes down to tools and resources and segregation and shit like this. And it's crazy because it's like you look as Virgil as like your belief system or your motive inspiration to continue into the brand, and like
you're one of them.
Yeah, one of them is what I'm saying. But it's funny because like in a weird way, like everything I'm doing, I don't want to say I don't think I could do it if I didn't have these conversations with you, but like you're a big inspiration of why I feel like I could have done what I done.
Oh, 100%. Because I feel like when you get around with people that believe in themselves, or that like, and even with the Kanye West story, like when you get around people that believe in themselves, it's hard to not believe in your own self. You know what I mean? It's hard for you to be like, like when you're around people that are like, oh, they don't, like when you're around people that don't believe in you, it either inspires you to be like, oh, I'm going to prove them wrong. Cause that's a lot of the stuff that like chips I had on my shoulders. Like, okay, I'm going to prove that I can be the lawyer and I'm going to prove that I can do this. And even when you realize like, okay, I don't want to prove anyone wrong. I want to do what I actually want to do to fulfill my own purpose and what I want to accomplish. That's when like the freedom of realizing like, okay, I can do it. And now I can inspire and encourage other people to do it. And it's sometimes it's like for me, it's like I you have to gauge, because some people need you to believe in them. And then some people need you to challenge them. Like I got some buddies that I got to be able to say like, oh, you can't do that. But in an encouraging way, like I want to challenge them like, oh, I bet you can't do that. Yeah. Versus like some people need to hear like, I believe in you and I know you can do it. And then that can push them forward. But it's different strokes for different folks. Like for me, one of the things would be like, I like to be challenged. Like someone tell me I can't do something, I want to do it. So, but then you still need the belief in yourself. Like if you don't believe you can do something, you won't get up and go do it. You know what I mean? If you don't believe like, okay, I can get big in the gym, or I can get an A on this test, or I can do X, Y, Z, you're not going to even try to do it. 100%. Like a lot of kids, like when we was like, for me, when I knew when I was in school, like if I knew that I couldn't do a decent mark or whatever on the test, like I'm not even doing the test.
100%.
You know,
like,
so it's like,
where'd this outstanding like belief come from? You know what I mean? Because like
I tap in with the people that believe in themselves, like the Kanye West, the Les Brown's. Like Les Brown's a motivational speaker. Like I think when I was like 16, 17, I started watching YouTube videos. What's his name? Jim Rohn. You know Jim Rohn?
I know the last
So
name.
like these guys are like motivational speakers, but I find they inspire you, they push you, they make you realize like everybody can do everything, and you got to do the thing that you want to do. And in order for you to find that belief or tap into it, is like you have to do the practice. You know what I mean? Like if for example we drop down right now and be like, who can do 100 push-ups? Then if we don't both, we can't, like say both of us, we can't do 100 push-ups. We can get to that point.
100%.
You know what I mean? That's practice, that's training, that's the education, that's the learning. So like for me, it's just like what got me to that point is just tapping in with them, really. And then
so kind of using them as like, you're like, okay, because again, go back to the community and stuff like that, which is why, because I want to like this year and next year, I want to get more involved in the community work and stuff like that. And you're already doing a lot of stuff for the community. So it's like, that's kind of like, you're using their inspiration to kind of let it bleed into the community. Because it's like, you look out and you're like, okay, if they can do it, then it's like, we can do it as well.
100%.
And so with that, how do you let that motivate everybody versus like kind of let it kind of tear you down? And what I mean by that is like, because obviously you have some people, especially coming from certain communities and certain pasts or certain traumas, that are just victim mentality. They're just like, because I've lost some friends and I was like, man, like what don't you get? Like just believe in yourself a little bit. You don't got to be the systematic conditioning that you think it is, or you don't got to like the end of what happened to you isn't what's going to happen.
But that's why what I say is like, well, what I try to do is just lead by example. Like we can't save everybody, but we can save who we can save and who want to be saved. But we have to save ourselves too. You know what I mean? So like if we, like how I look at it, a lot of it is it's like if I surround myself with negative people all the time, that may affect me. That might bring me down to a level where I don't want to be. So if in order for me to bring up or to, I can't remember who said it, but it's like if you can't bring them up, then they bring you down. So for me, it's like I want to be able to bring the people up and continue to bring myself up. But it's like sometimes I'm down in those, sometimes I'm out. You know what I mean? So it's like I need my own. And for me, like what helps me with that is like solitude, meditation, like taking time to myself. And like if I don't get that, like it just sucks.
No, 100%. I feel like well, I guess the question is like, how'd you get into that? Like, how'd you find out? Because I feel like I'll speak from my experience, and you can say kind of give your testaments to it. But that was my kind of biggest learning curve, was like once I started believing more, like once I started like you know, you get your first plan. I mean, you can again, you'll say your testament to it. But I remember when I got my first plan, I written it out, and I was like, all right, like I 100% believe myself, I'm gonna get this. The first time I actually like was petrified. I was like, fuck, like if I don't get this, like like I even told my girlfriend, I was like, if it doesn't work, I'll sign up for the military. Like, fuck it. And within 6 months, I beat the whole year's plan. And like, so, but what I learned was I didn't meditate. I didn't take the time to do journaling. I didn't take time to check in with myself, the solitude and like just breathing and doing stuff like that. I found that with the hard way, because it's like, and it's funny, I'm preaching this now lately, is like, we all got to realize we're not superhuman. We're not Wonder Woman, we're not Superman, none of that stuff. Like, we need help. Like, when you're down in the slums, you need some of your boys that are going to be like, oh, pull up your fucking pants, let's get it. Or I bet you can't do this today. You saying this shit.
100%.
So it's like, how did that look for you learning, like learning that aspect of it? Like, was it like through reading, or was it
I would say, like, I always like read into like self-help, just certain books like that, and just the tools and the tricks that they kind of give you are like, oh, let me try that, or let me try this out, or oh, that might not be for me. But I'm always in a place where I like to try different things. So it's just like cool showers, like the meditation, the journaling, like I can even probably tap into like where it really started transitioning for me. Like, one of my friends passed away, and like I was kind of having a hard time dealing with it. And I read The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle.
I think I got that in my truck right now.
So that book, and this is 2010, 2011.
So we're going on like over 10 years.
Yeah. So I read that book, and it kind of gave me like the solitude stuff, the meditation, the living in the moment, breathing, stuff like that. So that kind of gave me a different perspective of life. And I joined like Kung Fu. That was like super like meditative type of practice. And like ever since then, I found like it's just trying the new things is what like give me the breakthroughs of like try the new things, like implement certain things from your habit, let other stuff go, and then realizing like what's for you, what's not for you. And I find it's do what works for you, like continue to learn, do what works for you, but then always be experimenting along the way, because then that's how you get the continued breakthroughs, you know?
And you stay so consistent with it. Because it's easy to say, like, keep trying new things. How do you not get discouraged? How do you stay positive? How do you stay? Because honestly, like, listening to you talk right now is like, the only word that can come to my mind, which is going to be funny for anyone listening, because I don't say this word, is remarkable. Like, to be completely honest. Because it's like, well, like, seriously though, because it's like, I hold our conversations, because I can tell you like the times they were, like 3 times that they were. And it's funny because like, I know you're fact checking that, because like, one, people, you have a brand, you're like, you can't, most places you go now, people know who you are. So a lot of people want clout. A lot of people want the frame, the picture, this or whatever. So it's like me saying that, like, you know, that's valid.
No, for sure, 100%, bro.
Because the reason why I'm saying that is because like they stand out, and I'm not impressed by many people, and I don't mean that to be arrogant. I don't mean that to be narcissistic. Because going back to what you're saying is like, I come from a community with tools and resources with different backgrounds that when I graduated high school, I was fucked up, because it was like, no one in my family graduated high school. So my whole family, I'll never forget it. I got home, my grandmother was crying. High school graduation.
Damn.
And then I was accepted to NSCC for business administration. And then all my friends were going to Down Smeal. I felt like a failure because I was going to college, community college. You know what I mean? So like, the reason why I'm saying that is because it's like, you're just no matter, every single time I've talked to you, it's on go mode. You know what I mean? It's like if it's negative, it's like, okay, what are we doing with it? If it's positive, it's like, let's see, fucking go.
Yeah, weird like that, dude.
No, but that's a good fucking test.
But some of my friends are like, oh, if they can't really talk to me if it's like negativity stuff, but like when it comes to solution-based problems, I try to, you know what I mean, figure it out. And if stuff that I can't control or stuff that the person can't control, it's like, why are we going on about it? You know what I mean? Why are we complaining about it? It's like, if we're going to sit here and talk about gas prices, what can we do about them?
100%.
You know? So that's kind of like one of the things that I try to like figure out things that I can control. And if I can't control it, like you said, like just
get away with it.
Yeah.
But did you always have that mentality? Was it always
no, I wouldn't say I always had it. I find like after high school, my friend passing away, that's when like tapping in with the self-help type of stuff, because they're giving you the tools. Like if for example, like all the stuff like that I read,
level consciousness.
Go ahead.
Higher level consciousness.
Yeah. So like even stuff like that. So it was like when it comes to all the stuff that I read and all the stuff that I continuously, I could kind of like give the credit to just the stuff that I read, like just finding different stuff to read, because you take in a consensus of like, okay, if there's 10 people and they all do this one thing, then that one thing works. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if like 50% of them do one thing and it works, okay, it might not work for me, it might work for me. So it's like trying the stuff and then figuring out what works along the way. But just, I find continuously learning, like always 100%. Be learning, and like.
Yeah, but that mindset's impeccable though.
It's hard to like, well, I mean, it's not hard because it's like, what else am I going to do if I don't always, you know what I mean?
You just get it turned on. Like there's no, like, it's funny because like I don't say that to be like gassy up or nothing.
Bro, but it's like, there's things where like my back is against the wall with like certain things in life when it comes to like, either it could be like finances, it could be like trying to make sales, trying to pay rent in a certain month. And it's like that grind of like, okay, I have to do the things that I know work, and the things that I know work are the educating myself, the tapping in, learning different aspects. And then the breakthroughs always come from those things. So it's like, I can't never let that go. So I'm always going to try to continuously learn, continuously build, and also educate like the people. So like when it comes to like trust, respect, education, it's like if I come across something that's like educational wise and I feel like you'll benefit from it, or it fits your personality, or it's in what you're into, I'll send you the video, or I'll send you the book.
Or you've sent me stuff before. You sent me 2 or 3 documents. And when I was, I remember when I was in Europe, because I was looking through the pictures recently on my MacBook, and I have a picture of a book that like I replied to your snap when I was in Europe, and then you gave me the book and everything. Yeah, I think it was, I can't remember what it was, but
yeah, you got to share the knowledge, right?
Yeah, but it's crazy though, because it's there. It's funny because it's like it's just motivating as fuck. But there was a question I wanted to ask with all that, because it's like there's not many people, and I mean you can test this for yourself, that like, because again, you're the hard, like 9 times out of 10 you're the hardest worker in the room. That's why you got to find people to be like minded, because it's like you're just so like on the ball or get it. And I feel like over the last year and a half, I've really solidified that for myself, and removing those barriers in my life where I have to play a systems game and not be who I want to be, or like all that stuff. Because like the good thing about you working for yourself is around the clock you get to be who you want to be. Yeah. And it was hard as fuck to get there. And but pretty much what I'm trying to say is like, what makes that so important to make that change like for everybody, like regardless of what it is, because it's not negotiable with you. You know what I mean? And that's why I find so motivating and remarkable is that like you're on go mode and it's non-negotiable. Like you said, solutions focused. And it's just like, that's just embedded into who you are. Like when people see TREV Silver, they see like, it's non-negotiable. Like if you're coming to me, we're going to solve this problem or not. And like, I fucking get like, that fills me with like life 110%, because I felt so shitty and so negative. So like for me to feel like that energy that you're saying, that positivity, I feel like I'm almost got it embedded into me where it's non-negotiable. You know what I mean? Where people say shit to me and I'm just like, yeah, man, it's gone. Yeah. You know what I mean? It worked hard to get there, but like, cause yours is not negotiable, and it's like so fucked up. Cause I swear to God, I'm not saying this to gas everyone like that. It's just like, I don't come across people that I feel like, holy fuck, like I need to get on his level. You know what I mean? Like I need to understand how, like, cause it's not negotiable for you. And it's funny cause like, it's making me realize I need to figure out some more limiting beliefs I have with what I got going on with this podcast, what I got going on with my online business.
Don't get me wrong, I still got like some limiting beliefs and stuff I got to overcome, but it's like you said, it's the work that you kind of got to work on day to day. And there's the people in the community like that I look up to, that inspire me, that they're like going to school, building their business. And I'm like, oh man, if they like, and I, at a point I was in school and doing my business. I'm like, man, I'm thinking like, I can't even do this. But then when I look over at them, like, and this is Novell Provo, just to be specific.
Yeah, shout out.
He's doing school and building his business, and him, like me seeing him do that, it gave me the power to do, to be able to do it. Cause I'm like, in the beginning, I'm like, man, I can't do this. This is too much on my plate. But then me seeing him doing it, it gave me the fuel to be like, man, if my brother could do it, I can do it too.
Yeah.
And that's why like a lot of the stuff goes back towards like people in the community doing things. If they can do it, you can do it. You know what I mean? And then for you to take that on your back and your responsibility to be like, okay, now I have to do this so that I can show them that they can do it too. You know, and then that responsibility.
Like effect.
Yeah. So like taking the responsibility to be like, not to give up, not to bitch out, not to like give into like the, I don't know, like the systemic things that are holding us down, is like being able to fight back and being able to put in the work and be like, there's no excuses, like not having any excuses for whatever. I remember, like, was it? So I don't know, it was my first year of university or something like that. But one of my good friends passed away, and I was at school, like this is like the next week or the next couple of days, and I was like obviously sad, and like someone was like visibly seeing like, oh, why are you sad, or like why are you down or whatever. I was just like, oh, nothing, whatever. But it made me realize that like me going back to school and me trying to grind it out and like continue to push, even though like I'm grieving, was like my way of like not wanting to have an excuse. You know what I mean? Not wanting to be like, okay, my friend passed away, but the whole reason why I'm going to school is so I can show that there's other ways for us to do other things. You know what I mean? So I can't be like, oh, because he passed away, now I'm not going to do the school stuff. But there's often times where you'll get in a place where like, I remember before like my grandfather, he passed away. This was like going into my second year of law school. And that's when I was in a place where I already didn't want to do the law. I already knew I didn't want to do the law, but I took that as a sign of like, do something, you know what I mean? Do something else. So I took the time off, and then I switched, and I ended up going to finish up my management degree. But it's a lot of not trying to find excuses why I'm giving up or why I'm doing this, you know what I mean? And it's like, if I didn't have a transition or I didn't have a passion that I wanted to pursue, then I would have obviously stayed in school, because what else would I be doing? You know what I mean? And it's always just like, well, like I was saying at the beginning, is like, pursue what you think might be your passion until you might find your passion, because that's what's going to lead it to. Because like, if I didn't do the law school thing, I wouldn't have came up with that design. So it's like,
that is so true.
Scales of justice.
Like, yeah, man, that's true.
So like, I designed that in class. So it was like the dollar sign and the heart. In the balance scales, and work, money, career, family, love, friendship. You have to balance to succeed. So even early on, starting
it's
to
so crazy hearing you say that, because I remember hearing you say it. Like I remember when you saying those stuff, because it's like you've been saying this for so long.
Oh yeah, it gets easier, it gets better, it gets more refined. Like, and as you go, you get refined. It's just same for you with business, with podcasting. You know, as you get better at it, editing, as you get better at interviewing. You know what I mean? Everything gets better as you do it. You know what I mean? The very first video you do, or the very first sweater that you release, is not going to be the best. So it's like, do, and it gets better, it gets better, it gets better. And the only way it doesn't get better is if you don't care about it getting better. So it's like, work on the processes and the quality, and the build it up. And that's one of the things that some people are always like, oh, I can't start where I'm at. They want to be like, oh, I got to go and spend all this money on all this high-end equipment, and then I'll start. It's like, but you don't even know if you really want to do it, because I see so many people do that, where they're like, oh, I need to have everything pristine before I can start, or before I can start getting clients and doing this. And then they don't do, or then they ended up getting all the equipment, and then they say, oh, actually, I don't really want to do this. It's not. So you put yourself back even further than you were before, trying to pursue whatever it is you're trying to pursue, you know what I mean? And that's
100%.
That's what I feel like. You just start where you're at, and then you go from there, and you build on it. But, well, I'm saying that to say, like, start wherever you are, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but I must have got that from you, and that's probably, like, man, I don't know, because, like, I don't know if we've had more conversations. I don't know if I can remember, because it's like, listening to you is like, I swear, it's like sounding like me hanging with my buddies, trying to tell them, bro, we got to do this shit. Like, what are you guys doing? Because you saying that was my biggest limiting belief, was financial instability. Growing up with no finances, I grew up with social assistance.
But I'm still in a place where I got all these piling debt and student loans, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? I got a successful brand that people are like, oh, you're good, but, or whatever, but just like, bro, you don't even see my bank account. You don't even see, you know, you don't know what the grind is like.
100%.
And then they're like, oh, well, if you sold your stuff for cheaper, then you sell more stuff. But then it's like,
this devaluing.
How much do you think I'm paying for the stuff, you know? So that's just some of the aspects of like business and perception and all that type of stuff. But for me, it's like a grind every day. But I enjoy the grind. If I didn't enjoy the grind, I'd go work a 9 to 5 or something. But I don't want to. I don't want to work a 9 to 5. I want to grind, do what I want to do, and I feel like getting better and tweaking and learning what I have to do in order to continue to excel is what I'm trying to do. And that's
it's great. Yeah. I think you must have said something like that. But when I started this, because that's what I did too. Like, and it's just like, it's honestly just reassuring for me for what I'm doing, because everything you're saying is kind of like how I must have got it from you, honestly, hearing about it. Because like the biggest thing was like going back to the financial.
I remember we did have that last conversation. Like,
well, that's what I mean. The last conversation I think was the
you were telling me you were getting to start it out.
That's what I'm saying, because I remember, like, I think you gave me that speech of, like, just get started now with what you got. Like, you're not going to know. Because the thing that actually, like, no, I mean, for real, I think this is actually what started it all. Because, like, when I started what I was doing, like, I remember I even had a conversation with my girl, because I don't care about social media. I really don't. Like, I'd rather have a conversation like this and, like, get more out of this than message you on Instagram. You know what I mean? Because it's not as genuine. But before I started, because I know, like, most of my business is online, I was like, how can I use this without, like, it affecting my life? Because you know what I mean? Like, especially you being active on social media, there's, especially now, today's days and age, people's accounts getting hacked if you open up a wrong message.
You better get that two-way factor with your text on your IG, or they're going to start messaging you. Oh, what if I sent you $500? What would you do with it?
No, seriously,
you get that?
Yeah, but they try to get me with that. They got one of my buddies. They got like literally 3 guys from work.
Like, my godson's mom, they took her account, like whoever.
I'm petrified.
But I know it's not people doing it. I know it's algorithms and computers. So like that's what I think it is. So it's like protect your shit. Like they gotta, you know what I mean? Like I tell anyone, you better protect you.
You got to.
Cause like even when it comes to like your personal Instagram, your personal or your business Instagram, all that type of stuff, all that stuff is your brand. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing, like even through having this conversation, it inspired me to get back on my Trevor's life lesson shit, because I was
Love
like
it.
like 2 years ago, I kind of put it to the side and I was just like, I'm going to focus on the brand fully. I'm going to do what I can do to make the brand sustainable, and then I might get back to it. So I'm kind of like in a place right now where I'm like super excited and interested to get back into that while I was doing the brand, because like that's one of the things that I appreciate or I enjoyed of, like, you know what I mean? Like if I make a post and someone's like, man, that really helped my day, like that gives me fuel to continue to do that and even to continue to go about my day. It's just like the time and the effort that it takes you time in order for you to, you know what I mean, say something that's going to have significance for X amount of people is you know, and sometimes it's on the fly. So, but it's
like it's funny. That's why I laugh when you're talking, because I was like, damn, I was like, I'm realizing so much, because it's like, it's so funny, like getting so caught up in your own head, and like, you know what I mean? Like it's like grind every day, get better than yesterday, make sure everyone's good, make sure everyone's fed, make sure everyone's taken care of. And it's like, I'm over here thinking, it's just, honestly, I'm realizing so much about myself with this conversation, and I'm happy and thankful as fuck, because I don't get that often, I feel. And I'm not going to say, I don't know why, I'm not going to say the shit on anyone else, but it's like, believing in yourself to get something new, you know what I mean? You always, like, I find the insecure, I'll speak for myself, but like limiting self beliefs and insecurities will tell you that no one's done it before. That's why. So it makes it way bigger than it is. You're daunting, right? But I'm sitting here thinking of that about me, what I'm doing, and that's rude to you, because I started making TikToks at the beginning of COVID, before I got the courage to get or confidence to get a podcast. TREV life lessons. I was tuning in every time on Snapchat. Yeah, you know what I mean? When because Snapchat kind of died off a little bit, where it's more on Instagram and TikTok. But like when Snapchat was booming, that's when you were doing it. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And it was just like, I watched them every fucking day. Do you know what I mean? So it's funny, because it's like, now I'm thinking about, because like you said right there, like you watch a video and you're like, oh shit, let me share this right quick, or like let me talk about it right quick. And a lot of them, you know, they're on the fly, but you got to be in the right mindset to record and say it on the fly. But it's funny, because that's kind of what I'm doing now. Like, you know what I mean? After the gym, I'll get hyped up. I'll feel good. I'm like, fuck yeah. Because me, with my car accident and stuff, I'm in a lot of pain all the time. Even sitting here, like my neck kind of hurts, but I don't know any different. You know what I mean? So like sometimes it's really hard for me to get to the gym. So when I'm done, I'll be like, man, like how do I, like, let me fucking record real quick.
You gotta do the stuff when you're feeling that good energy. Like when you're feeling that and like you gotta do it when you're feeling like that, because if you're in a state of like, if you're not in a high good vibe state, then it's gonna be hard to push you to do the stuff. But when you got the energy and you got the spunk and you're feeling like, yeah, I'm about to make this post, you know what I mean? That's when you have to, like, you know what I mean? Because that energy shows in the post. That energy shows in the
and that's where you start the snowball effect.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you do it once a week. 2 weeks goes by, you do it twice a week. 3 weeks go by. Because I'm sure, like the first one you did, you're probably recorded 4 of them. It's like,
yeah, for sure, for sure. And then you get better, you get more. It becomes more natural, and then it's just.
Well, the funniest thing about this whole podcast and shit, like, this started from walking around outside in our path out there, me and my girl, or me and Emma, with trying to make less than 60-second TikTok videos. I'd walk out there for an hour for like a 45 to 60-second video, because then like you'd have like, I'd go through my camera roll and it'd be like an hour worth of fucking little clips. I'm like, man.
And that's one of the reasons why I didn't get into TikTok, like even though I should, and I'm probably going to, is that like the learning curve. Like for me, is always like, I know that in order for me to tap in with TikTok, I gotta know what I gotta do.
I actually have a video I can send you, remind me after that I got, because I'm not on TikTok right now at all, and the algorithms on there to get your brand awareness and like my shit too is just, you got to be on it. And even like for anyone listening just watching, for that side note, like, because going back to you being a brand and your other comment you said about protect your security and everything, because you are your brand, like. That's how you get out of the systematic conditioning that people think of, going to a 9-to-5 and going, because they go to there, and I died for my company I worked for, and then just to be laid off to go on EI. So it's like, you are the brand, you are the person. So like they even just connecting those dots. But
100%, because even to work your 9-to-5 and then work on your passion is okay, because you got bills, you got to figure it out. You know what I mean? I've worked 2 other jobs building my company even now. So it's like, you got to do what you got to do in order to make your dreams become reality.
Like people don't know this, like about me too. Like when I was going to SMU for the last time, I was going full time,
You got a burp, excuse me.
I was going full time. I had my hand broken, and I was getting surgeries on I think it was Monday or Tuesdays when I didn't have work. And I was working 32 hours a week. And it was like, I was going to school full time, working 32 hours a week and still getting my shit. And when I wasn't even working full time before COVID happened, I was working 2 jobs before I got all this stuff situated. Like I would work like literally there was days like for about 6 to 8 weeks at some points just to get extra cash. I would work 10 to 7, 7 to 7. So said like 10 in the morning till 7 at night, 7 at night till 7 in the morning. And then go to the gym, work at 10 a.m.
Yeah, bro, because no one else has an excuse why they're not making it. If you can do all that, then
that's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? It gives the people the ability and the understanding of like, okay, I can do it. If they're grinding like that, and I'm over here grinding like this, like I can make that happen. And there's other ways for us to even go about doing what we're doing when it comes to that aspect of like working smarter. You know what I mean? Sometimes you can tap in, or you can read a book, or you can learn from a person. They could teach you, okay, how to make the same amount of money you could be making at this job doing something else, and then make it in what you make in a year, you can make it a month. You know what I mean? 100%. And then you're like, oh shit, like
breaking so many realities.
Yeah, bro. And that's the thing about the realities thing is like, you can't, like, I had a friend that had a clothing company back when I first started, and he said, oh, you'll never be able to sell hoodies for $100. And that just is the challenge of like, when someone says, oh, I bet you can't do it, that's him basically saying to me, like, I bet you can't do it. But he was saying it in a sense of like, he really didn't believe it.
Yeah.
But then seeing it now is like, oh, okay, it's because it takes time to build a brand. It takes time to build up quality. It takes time for people to understand the brand value. Because it's like, when it comes to like a high quality sweater versus another high quality sweater, the prices are usually similar, unless it's like a Gucci brand. You know what I mean? But then the prices are usually, but like a low quality item versus a high quality item, the prices aren't going to be the same. You know what I mean? So then you got to kind of, people got to like, people that know are going to know, people that understand are going to understand. So it's like, that's why like everybody's not going to be your customer. So it could be with any type of business. Everyone's not your customer, but who's your customer is going to be your customer, and then just tap in with them. You're doing it for the people that are your customer. Not saying that don't try to get everybody as your customer, but like, you know what I mean?
Well, there's got to be a standard somewhere.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it was. That's actually what I learned too, because I didn't even want to be an online coach or online trainer at all. I actually started all of this just to be a positive light within like the light within the darkness type shit, because like, I was at a point where I was like, man, I was like, when I started getting more pain free, that's when I really started. Because like back in 2017, when I tore my left, I don't know, I didn't tear it, but like I pulled it really bad, my left pec. And I had to like, all I did was go to the gym. Yeah. So I just went and sat in the house, and like my whole world was upside down.
Yeah. I can imagine.
Because I never played sports, so it's not like I was like, okay, I'll go outside and play ball, or I'll go play football, or I'll run around. Like that was my calling with the gym. So then I started doing a lot of rehab, yoga, meditation, kind of body meditation, not really mental, but just like kind of like just shit ton of yoga. Yeah. Myofascial stretch therapy, working on myself. When I started getting I started waking up with less headaches, less migraines. And I literally started making this joke. Like, have you seen the movie We Meet the Millers? But it's most people have seen it. It's fucking hilarious. So it's like, this guy, he gets all these people to pretend like they're a family member, they're the Millers, and because he's smuggling drugs across the border. It's a funny comedy joke. But one kid's just really stupid, and it just lives in his building. It's just a joke. And he's like, yo, come on, free trip to Mexico. And he's like, oh, sweet. But everyone else is getting paid for it. So there's a point in the scene where in the movie where the kid's like jokes, because he finds out that everyone's getting paid for it. And he's like, wait, I'm dealing with all this shit, I'm not getting paid for it? So the joke is, he's like, wait, you guys are dealing with all this, and he goes, I'm not even getting paid for this, I'm dealing with the same thing. So I kept having these images of like that joke, because I was like, wait, you guys are this mad at life, and you're not even in pain. You know what I mean? Like, 'cause I was literally like, there probably twice a week, and this is not no word of a lie, I'd sit there with a towel over my head on the end of the tub, just sitting beside the toilet, because I was power puking from migraines. If I trained legs, like I'd be out for 10 days, like actually, like, because like getting hit by the car accident, I got all the surgeries and shit like that, like. But I just didn't. I thought you did that. And me and you went to the gym. You see me, and you see me in the gym a lot. Yeah. I thought you went home and did the same thing I did.
Oh, fuck yeah.
But you know what I mean? So like,
never work legs.
But that's what I mean, bro. So like, I just assumed everybody had the same pain tolerance. So when I started getting like pain, like my pain started going away. Started seeing like a lot clearer. Cause I didn't
from the habits that you were implementing.
Yeah, like just my daily habits of like proper training. Started changing all that stuff. But going back to like the what I'm trying to bring back to is this, because you're talking about no one believed that you could sell a sweater for $100. But like you said, you work every day, and it's like, no, like I'm not going out every day and be like, I want everyone to buy this sweater. I want everyone to see the value of the sweater, and then the right people will buy it. And what I'm trying to say with that is, like, when I started getting my pain all the way, and because I lost my identity with the gym. Like, this is the first year back since 2017 that I've been in the gym. So that's almost 5 years, bro.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So like, I did all 5 years. I just did mental work. I was like, okay, like, cause that's how I got into the gym.
Did you exercise at all during that time?
Not really. Just all yoga at home. Just like stuff at home. But I learned a shit ton. But that's what I mean. Like, I'm almost in no pain anymore. So I'm like, so that's where I got like that energy to turn it on. And honestly, my confidence to have like to identify as an online trainer, an online coach, and all that stuff like that. Because like you're saying, like, if you give value, and because again, you believe in the sweater, you believe in the brand, you believe in the TREV, like the TREV, like you believe in what it means. So you're not selling the sweater to sell sweaters because you want to hang with people to sell sweaters. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Like you're like, if you buy the sweater, you're buying into the brand, and then like the money's broken down into the brand. It's not like I'm going to take that money and go get a fucking Tesla or Range Rover. And it's funny because like when I started getting rid of my pain and started like becoming a more of a positive light for more people, like I didn't even plan on starting a business. I didn't plan on starting anything, mental health or training or anything like that. But based on me every day, hey guys, you guys better wake the fuck up and change your life. Who gives a fuck about your excuses?
100%.
Next day came through. My values, I'm not to be arrogant, but my value is so high. Like, I don't need to be those people online that are like, come buy my sweater or come train with me. Like, I got people that are like, hey bro, like, I love your energy. I want to be a part of it. And it's like, that's just like a big testament that I've learned. And like, just, it's comforting for in my position just to see somebody in the community that I don't want to, when I say not far off, I mean by age, but you know what I mean? Not from like skill set, because you're fucking light years ahead. But
don't say that. We all here.
No, come on, you gotta get up there. You know, but it's like, it's just comforting to see and reassuring as fuck. And like, to be honest, like, I feel like I got enough energy to fucking, like, I've never shared this with anybody, like, out loud, but like, cause going back to like belief systems, like, you get whatever you believe. Before I even started all this, I was like, hey, I need something that I really believe in. I need a financial number that I want to go on to before it turns a tyranny. Before cause I was talking about that the other day about how everyone's dream starts good and then it gets too big and then turns into something that's not. And I said, I want to get my community and everything good enough before it turns into a tyranny. You know, spark so much change until we're making so much money where it starts bleeding into people's bad habits. And the only number I could think of, like, for me to confidently start running towards, I said, before I die, I want to close my eyes and my wealth, not my money, like wealth. I'm talking about like kids I'm feeding, backpacks I'm giving out, all this shit like that. I said, confidently, by the time I die, 750 billion. Like I said, billion.
Yeah, that's
and I
gotta believe, you gotta tap in,
I believe it because I'm not saying a trillion. And every single one of my fucking intentions, not one intention in my body's bad. I already have it all written out, the numbers, the percentages and everything of where it's going, broken down. And 75 to 80% of that is not even mine.
100%. That's good though, because the more value that you create, the more value you can have for yourself
100%.
or you can give to others. And I find that's like, it's super important to believe, to have the numbers, to be able to even pursue it. But I find a lot of people, this is like separate from that, but it's similar idea, is like they pursue the money. You know what I mean? Like all my friends that have businesses, they're doing certain things because they like it. They have money obviously in their mind, like, I got to do this because I got to get money, but they're also passionate about what they do.
100%.
Like whether it's sneakers, food, automobiles, like they know, like some people, they know certain things really well, so their interest in it comes from, or their passion comes from them being experts in the field, so then they can like utilize that. So for me, it's just like to remind people, like, find your passion and then figure out how to let your passion make the money. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or do something certain that you can make money so that you can allow yourself to do your passion, because a lot of people are like, oh, I want to go do this, I want to go do that, but I need the money, so I'm going to go work here to get the money, then I'm going to go do this. It's like, don't just pursue money. Like, because at the end of the day, if you woke up tomorrow and you had all the money in the world, what are you going to do? And then people can't really answer that question because they're going to do a bunch of stupid shit with the money. They don't even know what the fuck they want money for, because they don't even know, you know what I mean? The money, like, you know, so it's like, figure out, or maybe even have a plan to be like, okay, well, once I get, like you said, like, once I get this certain amount of money, or build up to this certain amount of money, I know where it's all going.
Mm-hmm.
Like when you know where all the money's gonna go, then when you get the money, then you know what I mean? You're not gonna be like one of those people like guarantee 100. You take 100 people from Halifax and they won the lottery. I would say probably 80% of the people are gonna be the same broke that they are today next year.
I was saying at least 90 out of the 100 are gonna be.
I'm telling you, and it's because it's important to understand like why you want the money.
Yeah.
And ask yourself the questions of like, why do I want the money? Okay, I want to be able to do this, or I want to be able to eat. I want to be able to pay my bills without stress, and I want to be able to, you know what I mean? But then it's like some people want to live so beyond their means. So it's like if you live so beyond your means, how in the next month or the next year, how are you going to sustain? It's not sustainable, even if you won the lottery. So it's like try to figure out the financial understanding, like literacy, like financial literacy is super important, but it's like understanding that so that you can be able to be financially free in your lifetime. You know what I mean? And then you're going to teach financial freedom because, for example, like no one wants to talk about money at the dinner table, but it's important for like a father to teach their son about money because then that son has the tools when they go out in the world to not spend their money on a fucking car. Like to not, like, you know what I mean? I'm talking to some of my little brothers and stuff and like they living for a car, bro. Like you literally go to work every day and then dream about like, but then it's like, okay, well, that's what you're into. I'm not going to try to knock what you're into, but then it's like a car can't feed you. You know what I mean? A car is not a real asset that can generate income when you can go and take all that money that you dump into your car and buy an asset that can generate income to pay for the car in the future. But we're so instant gratification that we want it now. But no one, like, say, for example, like if we had fathers that taught us about, not no one's fathers or anything, but like in the sense, like as like for me or for like.
No, that's same as me.
So like, we want people to be able to like, I want the fathers to be able to teach their kids, like, okay, don't go and blow all your money on a car. Like get yourself to get to A to B and then invest your money into something that can maybe generate the money that can buy the car. You know what I mean? So 100%. It's like assets over liabilities.
And that's something that I talk about almost every episode when I talk to people and they talk about like growing up with certain things like that. Because when I was 17, I had $8,000 dumped in my bank account from student loans. 6 months before that, I was in grade 12 and my grandmother was crying that I graduated high school. And like I never had a job before.
And then it's like, what am I doing with that $6,000?
I bought the 4S at the Apple store and swiped my debit card. Nah, man, I'll never forget. I was hyped as fuck. I went there, had my debit card, and I remember I think it was $930 or something for the iPhone 4S. And I swiped it.
Yep. Because living in the moment, the gratification, and then it's like not thinking about tomorrow, not thinking about the future. I mean, I did that. I fucked a lot of money up during my undergrad and stuff like that. But it's like I was also learning too, like understanding, trying to like do a couple businesses failed. Some things didn't work out, and then you learn from the experience. But if our like parents sat us down and if they understood business and they understood
is that something
finances,
that you want to change for the community?
Oh, 100%. But it's hard because it's not even, I take that back. It's not hard. It's just like the people got to be interested. It's you can't teach someone that don't want to learn what you're saying. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like when it comes to like, for me, like I'm like when we're coming up, when I was younger, the people that seemingly had all the money were the people that weren't doing the legitimate stuff.
Yeah.
So for us, it's like we're looking at them guys like, man, I'm trying to do what they doing because I'm trying to be in that position. And then, but that also goes towards where the people that do have, because there's people that got money, but you don't see the money. And that's the thing. That's the disconnect for us young people is like, we're thinking that like people that got money show their money off. But when you realize like real money is not showing their money, you know?
Real money is showing up in orange flip-flop. Just joking.
So like when it comes to being able to tap into that and understand, okay, well, there's mentors like that I've tapped in with, and that's kind of who allowed me to build and do all the, like so many different things that I was able to do is because you get underneath someone's wing, you talk to them, like people, bro, anyone that hits me up, I give them all the advice I can give. Because I'm not hoarding advice. I'm not hoarding information. Because if I know something that can help you, I'm giving it.
Well, I actually, you can actually see it in the video right there.
Yeah.
Love.
Okay, yeah.
But I was at work the other day, and there's I think it's KS something podcast, Dalhouse's podcast. But they came in, and the lady started yelling. She goes, "Oh my God, do you know this guy? Do you know him? Did you know Trevor?" I was like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's my boy." I was like, "What's up?" She goes, "I fucking love him." Da, 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 da. She said, I don't know her name. If I have my phone or whatever, I'd pull her. It's KS4 podcast for Dalhouse or something like that. But anyway, it just goes back to the same thing that I said at the beginning of the episode, when it's like, it doesn't matter who it is, you give them 100% of your time. And that's such a big testament of like why you're successful. Cause like, that's like, man, like, it's just crazy. Cause like literally she came in, she seen a sticker. It's like, do you know him? And like, she was like hyped to tell me that she knows you. You know what I mean? And it's like, and like, it's just like, cause going back to what you're saying, man, it's just like, you've always done that. And it's so fucking crazy.
And that might be, there's a book I read that may be specific to like interpersonal relationships, and it's Dale Carnegie, Win Friends and Influence People. Have you read that one?
Yeah, Win Friends and Influence
So like,
people. Yeah,
that's one of the books, like if someone was to ever say to me like, what's one book that you would recommend for like anything, I'd say that one book, because
that book's insane.
Because when you keep saying like how like I give people the time, it's like, I feel like it's, how do I explain it? Because I feel like I learned a lot of techniques and skills from that book that allow you to be fully genuine, but also connect with people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, so like a lot of the principles would be like find something to be genuinely interested in a person, and that'll make an interesting conversation. That'll make, like, you know what I mean? Like, this might be going off topic, but it's when you go to a party and you're so used to drinking every time you go to a party that you have to drink every time you go to a party. But if instead of drinking, you substitute the drinking, okay, try to meet all the people at the party, have a genuine conversation with the people. So like, I remember one of my buddies was asking me like, oh, how do you go to parties and not drink? Cause I don't drink. And I was like, bro, you just meet the people, like genuinely, you know what I mean? Ask people questions about them, find genuinely things to be interested in them. And then people will talk, and then you get to know them, and then they'll ask you questions about you, and you could share build rapport with the person. So for me, it's like, instead of me drinking and having to drink in order to be comfortable around people, it's like, let me learn how to be comfortable around people without drinking. And I feel like that is the best way, is by asking questions.
No, man, that's crazy you're fucking saying that, man. So I know I keep saying shit like that, but it's like, I just had a conversation with that the other day with, I think like 4 different people, because alcoholism runs in my family. I'm not a drinker anymore. Like, I don't drink. I haven't partied really hard, like, at least 3 years. You know what I mean? And I used to go out every weekend. So that was my, like, so even last weekend I had a few drinks, and I was like, I only had like 4, I think. And it was just like, so we had like everyone, a little get together. And I was like, I said, the rest of the year, I was like, I don't know, I'm just going to go all year without drinking. Like, I'm just done. I'm just over it. Because I don't like it. Because like I said, I was like, I get high off the fucking conversations. And I was like, I found that night, like, I was more upset that everyone else had to be so, like, almost blackout for me to have such in-depth, interpersonal, vulnerable conversations about like what they want to do with their lives and stuff like that. Because by the time this time, because when I realized, I was like, I don't want to drink. I stopped drinking, and then like 2-3 hours later, everyone was already like pretty much blacked out, and I was like kind of sober. Like, I was getting hyped up and high off these conversations. Fuck, man, like, he's talking about this, da da da. Going back to what you're saying, because like I said to me and my girl talked about this the other day, it was like, why was I addicted to go downtown so much? You know what I mean? It was just like, what is it about it? And we started joking, but I was like, do you think I would drink and do everything and if stuff? I was like, if I knew I had a 2-minute dance routine, you know what I mean? Like, just to get the shivers, like, you know what I mean? Because everyone, as you're saying, people go to the party, they can't conversate until they're drinking, because it loosens them up, the insecurities and stuff. And
also, we're conditioned from like junior high when we first started going to parties and drinking, and we don't get out of that as we go. Like, I'm not against drinking. It's just I don't drink because it, like you said, it runs in the family, and like it would be cliche to say my grandfather drunk himself to death, but like that's type of stuff that happens in the community, because if all you're doing is drinking all the time, you know, you got to find another hobby. You know what I mean? The hobby can't be drinking. We can't, like, we can celebrate birthdays and holidays and stuff like that, but like, what are we celebrating and I'm not trying to like bash drinking, because like some of my friends are always like, oh, you like judge us or whatever, but it's like, bro, I used to drink, and it's nothing wrong with drinking, but it's just the overconsumption and understand, like, you're poisoning yourself is, you know what I mean? It's not,
I think it comes from like, I mean, we'll talk about this in a little bit too as well, like near the, like right before we wrap up and stuff, because it's one of my favorite questions. But like, I think that comes from a self-love standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, because like again, don't get me wrong, because it's a
to also, not to cut you off, but it's like not promoting it. Because if I do it, I can't tell the young people not to do it. You know what I mean? And it's like if they could say, oh, this guy's cool, this guy doesn't do this, and he still can be who he is, like, because I feel like a lot of people, like, I mean, in the community is like, it's a challenge too. Like, oh, I bet you can't drink more than me, and then that becomes alcoholism.
There's still like a few parties that like haunt me from like just trying to keep up with people. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and I remember I knew it was bad because I hung out with a couple people. Like this was like fucking like 7-8 years ago. When I was young, and I remember he was like, "Oh yeah, you like to drink." And I was like, "Oh fuck, I don't want people saying that."
Yeah, for sure, because you don't want to, like, even with your identity and all that type of stuff. Like for me, like I love to say I don't drink for the fact of, like you said, the self-love and just not wanting to poison myself, but it's also the fact of being able to inspire, being able for younger people to be like, oh,
it's a shock factor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like,
say I don't
bro,
drink.
People are like, oh, you weird. Like growing up, being like 14, 15 with the homies, it's like, oh, you don't smoke?
Yeah.
Like the people looking at me like I got 4 heads because I don't smoke. Oh, because I'm black and I'm from the community, I gotta smoke? No, I don't have to smoke, and I don't have to drink, and I don't have to do everything that everybody does, because I take pride in, and I feel like that comes from the community when it comes to taking pride on being an individual. Like I'm proud of where I'm from, I'm proud of who I am, but I feel like that also translates to being like proud of being an individual and doing things differently. Like I take pride in being able to say like, I don't drink, because it's hard to not drink. Like,
nah, for real. No, man, like for real, like nah, like I'm happy as fuck that you said it and it wasn't me, because like I have my grandfather tattooed on my arm. Biggest inspiration. He has like 4 rules he's given me to never go by, and I'm not saying he's drinking himself to death right now. He's not drinking as much because he's retired and he's like he just has a healthier relationship with it, thankfully. But like severe alcoholic. He's been drunk every night since he was 14. You know what I mean?
And it's and the other thing is it's not their fault. Like it's not like if I'm an alcoholic or if I'm a drug addict or I'm whatever, it's not my fault. You know what I mean? And I feel like people got to understand that like the drugs have a hold on people. You know, and that could be just anything. It could be addictions. It could be like, it could be sex. It could be food. It could be drug, like alcohol, drinks, weed, fucking pills, whatever. These things have a control on us. So it's not us that wants to do it.
No,
it's the addiction that makes us move and groove. You know what I mean? No, the addiction's like basically got us like a remote control car, and it tells us what to do, and then we do it. But that's why it's like for me when it comes to that certain stuff, like I'd rather have a healthy addiction, I guess, would be like maybe let's say the gym or reading and stuff like that, and tapping in with those understandings versus doing stuff that's gonna kill me. You know what I mean?
No, like 1000%. I'm just happy. I'm happy you're saying it, because it's like that's the shit I want to talk about a little bit. It's just stuff like that, because I don't like I said, if when people come on to watch it, they get the real. Like there's no one in my family that's sober. Like there's nobody. Like I'm thinking about it right now. Like, and I'm gonna be really critical about it. Like
it's because I feel like it's important to talk about because no one ever talks about it. Like
that's why exactly. Like
even for me, like I'm gonna say like there's people been in my family that pass away from natural causes, but it's like maybe it's the lifestyle that they live and the alcohol, and no one ever wants to, like at the funerals, at the family meetings, at any of these things, like no one ever wants to talk about it because like I talked about it privately within individuals, but I'm not starting an argument with the whole family about like we got to change this because no one's changing it. It's ingrained in society. Like just look at the lineup when the pandemic was going down. You line up at the liquor store, bro.
Yeah.
And like that was one of the things because like I don't think I drank since probably like 2018, 2019.
Damn, bro.
But the liquor in the pandemic is what made me really scared of the liquor. Like not scared in reality, but like people were calling me like, "Oh, let's drink." People were sending me snaps, and, taking shots with the camera and stuff like that. I'm like, these people are home. Like my friends are home drinking and trying to get me to drink by myself with them on social media. But then it's like every single day during the whole pandemic, like people getting their checks and spending it at the liquor store.
No,
and I'm just like,
well, you see the sales, they went up.
Like coming out of the pandemic, like if you wasn't a drinker and you're a drinker now because of the pandemic, it's gonna be hard to like get back on to not.
Well, the drug addiction and the overdose rates and all that shit went up like skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, honestly, there's been times like, and I'll let you speak to this yourself, because like one of my biggest things was like, I got to get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved to Ontario for a bit, and like went over Europe for a bit.
Yeah.
I was just like, nah, this is like, and I'm still here. You know,
no, but people often want to get away. They want to get away and feel like it's something else out there for them. Like, and there is opportunities other places, but it's like you got to get right within. And I feel like that's what you're tapping into. And it's often like girls I know growing up in guys be like, oh, I got to get a girl that's not from here. I got to get that's like the cliche thing, but it's like, no, you don't, because you can find people here. It's just you attract what you are, I guess, in a sense. Yeah. So if you're not liking who you're attracting, then build yourself, grow yourself, you know what I mean? And then you're going to be in a position where like you're not going to be persuaded by the people that do come and like tickle your fancy or whatever, but then you're going to be able to be like, oh, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I'm accepting, and this is what I'm going to get, versus, oh, I got to go to another city to find, like, because people think like there's different quality of people in different cities, and it's like, you're going to find different quality of people everywhere, and it's on you to find them. Like, people got Tinder and all this stuff now. Like, bro, you guys are young. Like, tap into Tinder, meet some people outside your circle that you're into, and then, you know what I mean, build on that. But besides that is, I just find, get where we were at. The conversation we just...
No, it was good, man. We're just talking with the communities, because that's like, I was just going back about like why I'm still here. And it's like, going back, it goes back to the same thing you said about, I can't remember exactly what the problem was, but it was just like, why are we going to, like, if we're going to talk about it, why are we not going to talk about the solution? We're not going to bitch about it. And it's like, that's why I've always had this hate-love relationship with being here, is because I love it here. And that's one thing I've learned, is that I love it here. Like, my brother just got a house down by my mom. And it's literally like, I'm happy as fuck, because it's like, our family dynamic's not great. Like, I'm always honest about like that. That's my biggest pain point in my life. Well, he got like a hub now, and it feels like our family's together, even though it's fucked up and we don't get along.
Yeah, but everybody got a fucked up family. I feel like it is. Like, even when I was younger, like when I was a kid and shit, I used to always wish that I had a normal family. And then when you grow up and realize, and you meet a lot of people, you realize like, ain't nobody's family normal. Bro, like, you got people that are like structurally and perfect, like in the movies, like how the movies are, but then it's like they got other problems. You know what I mean? So it's like for us or for whoever, it's like, everybody is fucked up. Everybody, you know what I mean? It's just learning how to deal with the fucked upness and accepting it, and not like pushing it away, not being like, oh, that's not me, or oh, I don't want nothing to do with my family, because this is like, I get along with all my family members, and I could say there's certain fucked up aspects of it, but I look at life as it is what it is type of thing. And you help what you can, and you let go what you can. If I can't, I know I can't stop the people from drinking. Like, if I go to the liquor store and I take there's so many, like, alcohol is ingrained in our society to where it's a thing. So we gotta understand that it's a thing, just like water's a thing.
Well, it's like we're conditioned to celebrate with it. Yeah. Like, the whole thing you're saying, it's like, why can't me and you go for your birthday and everyone be sober by the end of the night? And everyone meet for coffee at 8.
No, fuck no.
You know what I mean? It's like, but it's crazy.
But you got to find your friends that are like that don't want to drink, so you can have time with them. Then you can hang with your friends that do drink. Is having certain aspects of how you want to be, who you want to be, and understand that like everybody's not going to be like how we are or how you are or how I am, and accepting that, you know.
You really didn't have a drink since 2018, 2019?
20, like, I had a shot or a drink, but I haven't been buzzed up since 2019.
Okay. I think I can fuck with that rule. Cause like even yesterday, I was like, you want to have a glass of wine with me? But cause I don't know. Cause that's the thing too. Like,
cause it's a challenge. Like for me, like I love challenges, because like it's, I feel like challenges are so important because it allows you to explore yourself. Like if I were to say to you, like, I bet you can't drink for this whole year. I bet you can't stay away from the liquor for the whole year.
What's going on, guys? I hope you enjoyed this episode, because honestly, I loved it. Trevor and I could honestly not stop talking, and the energy was unmatched. I hope you enjoyed this episode, because part 2 is on its way. Boom.